know that majority of the people who love and enjoy my content are not subscribers? By subscribing, it ensures that you never miss any more live streams, tips, or hot topics. Plus, the support that you give, it allows me to continue to keep giving you the content that you love. So if you gain any value here, be sure to subscribe right now. And let's get back.
Daddy's so crazy.
Yo, what is good? What is good? Welcome. And we're back with another one of the hottest shows on YouTube. I'm your host, Courtnee Edgar, and this is one of the dopest shows out here on YouTube. Y'all already know how I like to do. I like to get right into the content, but before I do, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It's going to help the algorithm reach the type of people who love my type of content. So, man, today we got some dope shit going on today. You already know we're going to talk about what's been going on this week with Anthony Edwards and his baby mama, because they got some shit going on. And man, he played her full of food. Then we got some other topics going on, bro, and we're going to get right into it. But you already know how I like to do. I like to get right into it. So let's dive into the first topic, man. I like to dive into Phoenix, Arizona, because, you know, that's the city that I'm in. And I want to just kind of keep y'all up on the news and what's going on, especially for the people out here in Arizona. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Let's get it right now.
Estimated that Trump's tariffs will cost the average American household $2,100 a year. That's why one of Arizona's top business leaders has no problem calling them a tax. It was a different attitude down at the state legislature this week. Republicans either dodged my question or didn't answer when I asked them if tariffs are taxes.
So look, can I ask y'all a question real quick? What is y'all take on tariffs, what Trump is doing right now? I'm not going to tell you my opinion on it yet, but I want to know, what do y'all think is happening with the tariffs? Do you think it's a good thing? Meaning that because Trump is implementing tariffs, that what he's doing now is bringing money and making sure that he's taxing the people overseas, so that way we can keep the money within the community, meaning the U.S., or do y'all think it's hurting the United States? Y'all let me know in the comments.
Part of the reason the modern GOP had been built on cutting taxes, not raising them. Danny Seiden is one of those old school or traditional conservatives who worked for GOP governors and other elected leaders. He's now the president and CEO of the Arizona Chamber of Commerce and didn't sidestep my question. Do you see these tariffs as a tax?
Again, it always depends on what the final details are. But yes, you know, in the past, the way tariffs have been carried out, they lead to price increases down on the consumer. So it's impossible for me not to describe it as a tax on the consumer, the people who pay for the goods.
Seiden added that Trump's tariffs meets the definition of a tax because the American public ends up paying more. The president himself sounded resilient today on his social media platform. The president wrote that his policies will never change. In the newsroom as well.
And look, here's the crazy part about all of this as well, y'all. What y'all don't realize is that Trump has brought back 30-something trillion worth of dollars back to the U.S. 30-something dollars back to the U.S. That deserves a round of applause, because what he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. And he's staying on point with it.
The tariffs are Trump taxes. They will be passed along to consumers.
Governor Hobbs saying Trump's tariffs are taxes that will hit Americans in the pocketbook.
It's creating all kinds of chaos that at the end of the day is not lowering costs for anyone, which is something that this president ran on.
The president's tariffs on foreign cars and other goods are set to take effect Wednesday, which Trump has branded Liberation Day. The White House estimates it will raise about $6 trillion over the next 10 years. Outside of Republican Congressman David Schweiker's office, protesters voiced frustration with Trump's policies, including the tariffs. If the administration's estimates are right, the new tariffs would equal the largest tax increase in modern U.S. history. You're the leader of the Freedom Caucus, Conservative Caucus. For as long as I can remember, Republicans have been against tax increases. The tariffs that are taking place have been called and described as something akin to the largest tax increase since World War II. Do you support the president's tariffs?
So I think your characterization of it is clickbait designed to push, views on your website.
At the state capitol, Republican Senator Jake Hoffman declined to say if he believes Trump's tariffs are actually tax increases. He's been a strong supporter of the president and said the tariffs are a strategy to enforce economic fairness. Do you think a tariff is a tax?
Exactly.
I think that a tariff levels the playing field when we have our cars getting tariffed in the double digits going into Europe, yet we're doing low single digits.
Hoffman wasn't the only conservative.
Exactly, because we are too busy subsidizing everybody else except everybody in the U.S. That's what y'all are not understanding. You only looking at it from one spectrum. If you look at it from a broader spectrum, what it's actually going to do is going to bring more money and keep money within the United States. It's going to bring jobs back over here because now the people overseas, like China and all these guys, they're going to, if they want to do business with us, guess what? You're going to have to pay a tariff. Or you can start manufacturing your products in the U.S., kind of like how we were doing back in the 90s when we were manufacturing all of our products in China, sending all of our, and they were the ones making all the money, which is why China is so big right now. Yeah. Take all that, bring the companies back over here, manufacture all the car products and everything over here, make it an even playing field. Then eventually what's going to happen is, because you are creating more jobs in the U.S., you're creating more jobs, more money circulates within the community, which then drives prices down. It's gonna have to reset. So, like we say, it's gonna get bad before it gets better. Just saying. So you just gotta be along for the ride, dog.
Republican dodging questions about the tariffs. We asked another member of the,
mind you, think about it like this. If you see your stocks going down, if you see your stocks and you see your money going down right now, this isn't the time to panic. This isn't the time to start taking your money out like, oh God, oh man, I need to pull out all my money. No. This, and I'm not a financial advisor. This is something that I'm doing. This is something that I learned from other individuals who are successful and who have been in this position and who have done it already. The thing that you should be doing right now, and this is something that I'm doing as well, I'm not pulling my money. I am putting more money into it because guess what? Now the product is becoming cheaper because the prices have dropped in the stock market. So therefore, this is the time to put money in there. So when the prices rise again, you gon' make the money, dog. You gon' make a bag. You feel me?
Conservative Freedom Caucus, State Representative Alexander Colladin.
Do you think they're a tax?
And he just walked away.
Shit, I would have to.
And the attitude on tariffs among Republicans marks a clear shift for a party that was built in large part on cutting taxes, not raising prices on Americans. Back to you guys.
President Trump over the weekend said he couldn't care less if car dealers raise the prices of cars. In his mind, this is short-term pain for long-term gain. Why?
Didn't I just say that? This is short-term pain for long-term gain. Y'all are only looking at things from a small spectrum. You're not looking at the big picture. You're looking at, oh, well, eggs cost $12, which I don't know where the hell y'all got that number from. I guess it's in New York or something. I don't know where y'all got that from. Oh, eggs are $12. I can barely buy groceries at the store. We're living below we're not getting paid enough, but then the rent prices are higher than ever, and we just can't X, Y, and Z. Listen, big dog. Yeah, it may get a little bit worse before it get better, but understand it will get better. It always gets better. This isn't the time to panic. This isn't the time to fear. This is the time to buckle down and really lock the fuck in. If you're trying to grow your wealth, if you're trying to get to a fucking bag, this is the time to start dropping your money in the stock market. And sir, if you don't know much about the stock market, listen, what I did is I invested in the ETF, which then has all your big companies, Meta, Tesla, Netflix, Apple, so on and so forth. You have all these companies within that ETF. You can put your money into there. Mind you, if you're smart about this, so that way you won't have to continue to do it, take a percentage out of your paycheck and have it go directly into that Fidelity account or right into that stock account, straight out your check. You won't even see it. It goes right into that check. So now that can also act as a savings account, because now you are compounding your money to make more money. Hey, just something that I do. I'm not a financial advisor. Just saying. It has worked for me because I learned it from somebody else. Just gave you a little bit of game. You're welcome.
Why wouldn't any of our legislators just say that? Because that's the line from the White House.
I mean, again, it goes back to kind of that core branding of the Republican Party. For as long as I've covered politics, you've been in the news business, they've been the party of lower regulations and less taxes. I think there's still some people are still very concerned and worried about going out there publicly and supporting tax increases. And they also, when you ask them about this, they're also very much trying to support their Republican president at a time where, the president himself has said there could be some economic pain here in the future.
And what is the benchmark for what's considered short-term pain? How deep and how long? And that's the variable that we're all kind of sitting on the sidelines waiting to see.
Yeah, and the other thing too is we've seen, the tariffs on again, off again. I know they're supposed to take effect on Wednesday, but they remind everybody here that the president has backed off some of these taxes in the past and renegotiated stuff. So let's wait and see what happens on Wednesday.
We'll be watching. Yeah. Thanks, Dennis.
Well, shout out to them good old people, and shout out to Trump for doing what he's supposed to be doing. So far, in my eyes, Trump is doing a phenomenal job, and we are just going to continue to see this greatness, and we're going to continue to see him build and make America great again in that aspect, because all he was talking about before was never about race. It was about money. It was bringing the money back to the United States, making America great, making America that financial powerhouse as it once used to be. That's all it is, bro. Y'all get too caught up in y'all own shit. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe. It's going to help the algorithm reach the type of people that love my type of content. Yo, so I want to dive into the next topic, one of the main topics tonight that everybody's been talking about all week, and that's Anthony Edwards and his baby mama. My man said he gonna pay her $1 million up front. Now, I don't know if y'all ever heard of somebody doing that before, but I never heard nobody doing that before. And so I'll give you a quick little backstory. What Shorty tried to do was she tried to take it back to California, but Anthony Edwards' lawyers said, it happened in Atlanta, Georgia, big dog. So therefore, we're going to handle it here out of Georgia because this is where it happened. Because what Shorty was trying to do, she wanted him to pay a hell of an egregious amount of money for that for the child support. And Anthony Edwards and his counsel was like, we're gonna pay you. Well, I think that's roughly what five bands a month, something around there. Somebody do the math for me. Around 5 bands a month for the next 18 years of his child's life. And he was like, I don't want nothing to do with you. I'm gonna throw you this meal up front. $1,080,000, I believe. $1,080,000. I'm gonna throw this $1,080,000 up front. And after that, don't touch me, don't call me, don't contact me. I don't want nothing to do with none of you. I don't want nothing to do with none of you. So I want to hear what the baby mama has to say about this situation. So let's dive into it. Let's see what she got to say, dog. And shout out to all Urban Central, AUC. This is, shout out to their content. Of course, I don't want to take anything away from their content, but hey, just want to make sure everybody get their credit.
I have been purposely staying off the internet. Reason being is because I don't want to come out of character from the things that are being written and commented, the lies that are being made up. And I know that if I put myself in position to respond, I'm then putting myself in position to defend my daughter and defending her of what has been written. There's no nice way to do it because people have been so ignorant and so cold-hearted towards a child. And funny enough, I don't know if it's been a year or two, but I remember when Trump wanted to push laws banning the rights to abortion. And I remember how women came together and they protest. And you got dressed in jerry beads, and some of you went down in panties and bras and trench coats and was like, this is my body, this is my choice. Okay. But the second a woman makes the decision, and I'm not even sure if it's a woman or if maybe, well, I know I'm probably getting this attention because of who I am and who I am attached to. But just generally speaking, the second a woman decides to make the decision about her body and her child, y'all turn into weirdos. Do you want a man?
All right, let me stop right there for a second. Right. Granted, I'll give you that. Your body, your choice. Cool. Nobody ever took that away from you. But here's the thing. This was a question that was asked before. I believe I asked this on one of my shows before. I asked the same question. If it's your body, your choice, as a woman, right? Your body, your choice. That means if you decide you want that baby and that man says that I don't want that baby, you still have the ultimate decision to have that baby if you wanted that baby. Vice versa. If you decided that you didn't want the baby and that man said, look, man, I want to have this baby, you still have the ultimate decision to say, nah, I'm not going to have this baby. We ain't doing that. You have the ultimate decision. Not arguing with that. But, if a man turns around and says, well, since it's your body, your choice, my money, my choice, because you're going to want child support from me, right? So it's my money, my choice. I should choose not to have to pay for anything. I should choose not to want to drop a dime for nothing because I told you I didn't want the kid in the first place. So because I opted out of the situation saying that I don't want nothing to do with you or the kid, why should I still be liable to pay child support? I know this situation is a lot deeper when we talk about this type of woman, because Anthony Edwards already has 2 other kids, I believe. I believe he already has children, and he's taking care of those children. So because he already has 2 other kids, I think by 2 other baby mamas, and he's taking care of those children, what is it about you? What is it about you, Miss Thing, that makes him want to say, I don't want shit to do with you. I don't want shit to do with that baby. So so the council has advised that I pay you $1 million, $1,080,000 up front for the duration of the child support lifespan. So that's roughly around $5,000 or something. Again, y'all check my math. So what is it about you that make him, considering the fact that he got 2 other baby mamas that he cool with, what is it about you as a woman that make him say, I don't want shit to do with you at all? What is it about you? I want to know.
And to tell you what to do with your body or not.
Why her voice annoying too, though. Yeah, just saying.
Do you want the rights or not? I've also come to realization that there are just certain allegations that I will never, ever.
So in her little comment in her video, it says, Aisha states that since having a child with a very successful artist, she has been labeled a gold digger. That could be true. We don't know. could be true. Simply because he threw you. Now, mind you, this could play both ways, because she could have that mentality of, hey man, I just don't think that's right for me to do, so I'm gonna have this baby. And that's cool. Your prerogative, your body, your choice. Because I believe Anthony Edwards gave her $100K to have to unalive the baby. You feel me? To have the abortion or whatever. So no fault to her in that aspect. No fault to her in that aspect. So could she be looked at as a gold digger, considering the fact that she already got a baby by Lil Baby? Could be.
Beat with you guys. I came into the situation with the status because I have a child by a very successful artist, right? From then, I'm viewed as a certain type of woman because I'm beautiful and I have a nice body. And normally women like that attract a certain caliber of men, which is also not my fault. And now that I am in yet another situation where I now have a child with another successful man, there's no telling you guys that I'm not a gold digger. You guys, it's no allegations at all. The only thing that irritates me is I read comments that say, oh, you're a gold digger, or you kept the baby for a check. What if I came to y'all's pages, right? And I compared the men that you have children with to the men that I have children with. And I said, you were digging for poverty when you picked him to be your baby daddy, weren't you?
What? You were digging for poverty. What? What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, you kept that baby for an extra income tax credit, didn't you? Or you kept that baby for a couple extra $100 in food stamps, didn't you? Or you kept that baby for Section 8 voucher. Is that why you kept your baby?
Now, I will say this. There are some women who do that. I will say that. But they ain't right in the head. They ain't right in the head. So I will say there are a small percentage of women who do that shit. So I will say that.
Now, if that was triggering, that's how I feel every time somebody says, do you even love that baby? You kept that baby for a check. Oh yeah, baby. I'm on one night. We're gonna talk about it. Cause see,
why are you talking like that? Just talk. Why are you being extra?
I sat back and I watched y'all in your dirty bonnets, lay back on your headboards or in your cars with the cloth seats. I saw you. And you voiced your opinion about what you would have did if you were in my situation with my options that you do not have, and you probably never will.
So she thought she just cooked. That's the thing. She thought she just cooked because apparently because she has a nice body, because she looks decent, because she's in different circles, because she down here getting bussed down by niggas who got money. Here's what I've learned about a lot of niggas with money, and this is not all cats with money, especially when it comes to superstars. A lot of these cats lame as fuck. Now I'm gonna call a spade a spade. A lot of them who got money lame as fuck, right? Cool, but I will say this, shorty, you ain't married. You're not married. And I will tell the same chicks who aren't in the same vicinity as you, who aren't around the same people as you, I would tell them the same thing. You're not married. So that shit that you talking as if you're better than, you're not. you ain't nothing but just an expensive hoe. And like, just keeping it real. You just an expensive hoe. Don't nobody want to marry you. They just want to bust you down and move on. Why you think Anthony Edwards didn't want to have a baby by you? You think that, oh, well, I'm a baddie, so I deserve to be with these. I deserve to be with these type of caliber men. You don't deserve shit. God bless you. God bless you to have a beautiful face. God bless you to have a nice body, but that don't mean you deserve him. You just got a bunch of horny niggas who willing to pay you for some box, and you gonna give it to them because you know you're gonna get some money out of the situation. Let's not lie about the situation, because if you were serious about it, you would have been trying to tell that nigga, hey, you ain't busting shit down until you put a ring on it, homie. So you can talk all that shit that you talking, you still ain't nothing but an expensive hoe. I said what I said. Talk to your mama about it. And straight up, talk to your mama about it. But I do want to say this though. To men, fam, real talk. Y'all got to stop putting y'all shit inside all these random ass women, dog. If you know you ain't trying to, if you know you're not trying to have a baby with this chick, if you know you're not trying to take it serious, bro, use protection, fam. Because there is a percentage of that when both of you lay down. She makes the choice to lay down with you. She makes the ultimate decision to open her legs up to you. Now, in that time frame, from the time that you decide that, you know what, I'm going in, this is the time to use protection. The time to use protection, homie. Or your pull-out game better be magnificent. Magnificent. You hear me? I don't care if she says that, oh, I'm on B control. Nah, your pull-out game better be mean, homie. If you're not trying to have a baby by this woman, if you're not trying to, you put a ring on it, y'all got to stop just laying down with these random women and just having babies by them, dog. Real talk, fam. Because it ain't about you. It ain't about the woman. It's about the kid. Y'all bringing these kids up in these fucked up situations, dog. Y'all wonder why we got a fucked up society now, because y'all got a lot of single mothers raising these kids, raising these fucking degenerates. That's why you see a lot of single parents end up raising, single mothers to be exact, they're raising these degenerate children. That's why most of them end up in jail. A lot of them end up in the gang. A lot of them end up dead early. A lot of them end up not earning a high income. A lot of them end up going to jail, ending up on the pole, end up doing OnlyFans, all of this ratchet shit, and the cycle continues. The cycle continues until somebody just takes a stand and say, you know what? You may not like what I say. You might get triggered by the shit that I say, but the shit that you're doing is wrong. You shouldn't be doing it. It ain't about you. It's about the kid. You don't want to bring a kid into a fucked up situation. I would prefer, I'll be 100% honest with you. I would prefer you as a man and you as a woman to be on the same level of brokenness, so that way you guys can build together. You can build together and grow together and build a strong foundation for that kid, because now you got both parents in the household, and you're going to raise not only a law-abiding citizen, you're going to end up raising the kid that's going to be a contributing member to society. Tax-paying citizen. Not in the streets, not a hoodlum, not in jail, not a gangbanger, not on the pole, none of that. The chances of that not happening is a lot higher when you're in the two-parent household. Those two parents are successfully in a relationship. We ain't talking about just being in a relationship, because I know a lot of y'all like to dive into, well, what about the other parents where there are two parents in the household, but the parents are shit? We ain't talking about them parents. We're talking about the parents that are in a successful relationship and who have principles and who have structure, who understand what it means to raise a child in this world, in this society and culture today. So that being said, hey, I applaud Anthony Edwards for the fact that, he got smart lawyers to fight this battle for him, so that way he could just be over and done with the situation. He ain't got nothing to do with it. It's a smart move. It's a smart move. If you don't want nothing to do with her or the baby, that's a smart move. Pay the $1 million up front for the duration of the child support lifespan. Hey, and call it a day. She better not be calling for nothing. But I will tell you this: I guarantee she gonna try to get more about them. I 100% agree. She definitely will. We're gonna hear about more of it. Real talk. Listen, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. It's gonna help the algorithm reach the type of people that like my type of content. Yo, and if you support the channel, if you want to support the channel, I will be pinning the Cash App link in the comments. Look, it's not expected. It's definitely appreciated though. All right. So I want to go ahead and move on to the next topic, dog. Speaking of ratchetness, speaking of our black people, speaking of the culture, Morant, bruh, is under fire again for being ratchet. But before I give my thoughts about it, I want to let y'all see what I'm talking about. This shit is crazy.
Penalties to Morant and Buddy Hield for the gun gestures that they did towards each other during Warriors versus Grizzlies. And that news.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Let me set the precedent by saying this. I get it. It's fun. It's banter. I get that aspect. But there are just certain things that you just shouldn't do. As a professional athlete, as a person that get views from many different demographic of people, these are certain things that you shouldn't do. And I'm not even gonna point out the whole race aspect, or especially as a black man. I'm not gonna do that because I don't like doing. I hate when people do that shit. Just as a person, as an individual, that shit is ratchet. I don't care if it's a black person doing it, a white person doing it, an orange person doing it. It's ratchet, dog. This shit is ratchet. And I don't agree with it at all. You already got into some fucking trouble, bro, for having a gun on a live stream in the car with your homeboy, bro. If anything, you should be on your best behavior. They wanted you to be the face of the NBA, Morant, but you keep acting like you from the hood, G. Nigga, you got $1 million. Nigga, you worth millions of fucking dollars, dog. Why are you trying to be hood? Why are you trying to be ratchet, bro? Be a rich nigga. That's it. Just be rich, dog. You don't got to be extra. You ain't in the hood no more, fam. You ain't. You're not. You're not in the hood. Y'all be doing too much with this shit, fam. Trying to bring the hood to the fucking court. Sit the fuck down somewhere, fam. Sit down. This ain't a good look. And Adam Silver getting tired of it. He getting sick of this shit.
Only came out a few hours before the Heat vs Grizzlies game, and
just look at it.
Of course, Morant's first three, his celebration did not change. But also bear in mind he has been doing this celebration for the.
Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this. What is that? What? I mean, I know what it is. I know the gesture, but I'm saying, like, why? Why?
The entire season, I'm pretty sure. But of course, Shaq was having a laugh in the TNT studio afterwards.
Heat with a 1-point lead and just minutes into the game. At it again. Morant celebrating.
Washing that car, baby.
Okay.
Push it to the limit.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm just like Steph. I'm just shaking my head like, bro, like, why? Why? What is that? You can't think of any other celebration to do? You want to... What is that, fam? What is that? Chill. You ain't in the hood, bro. You ain't in the hood, bro. You're not in the hood. You got sponsorships. You got all these different things. You got... This shit don't make no sense. I don't get it, bro. Just stop, Ja. Y'all gotta stop. Boy, I never understood. I never understood why. Okay, I guess I gotta go with that now. I guess I gotta do it to get the point across. Why do our black people feel as if we have to do certain things a certain way to get looked at in a negative way? And again, I'm only saying this and speaking to the race simply because it typically happens in our race. You can call me a square all you want. I really don't give a fuck. Call me a square. Like, bro, you lame, bro. You I don't care, bro. I wasn't even doing this as a youngin', fam. Why in the fuck do I need to pretend like I'm from the hood when I'm not? I'm not gonna sit up here and act hard, but that don't, just because I don't act hard, that don't mean I can't defend myself. That don't mean I can't bust one. That don't mean that at all. But I don't need to walk around showing it and trying to be hood and acting like I'm from the hood, doing all these gunshot gestures. Like, bro, what is that? Why? Who you trying to impress? Are you still trying to stay connected to the hood, or like what? Your homie is one of your homies in the hood? Like, I don't. What is it? What is it? What are you trying to prove? What is it that you're trying to do? I don't understand that, bro. We got to do better as a collective. As a fucking collective, especially when you on that type of platform as an NBA superstar, you gotta watch what the fuck you do, bro. I get it, you want to be your own man. I get it, you know, you want to test the limits of who you are and test the limits of other individuals. I just want to be me, man. I'm me. I'm only one job. Cool. But there's a time and a place, and that ain't the place. And that ain't the time. Do that shit on your own time, bro. Do that shit when the camera ain't on, when everybody don't have their eyes on you, fam. You doing way too much. Way too fucking much. Y'all got to do better. I only wanted to spend a little bit of time on that, man. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It's going to help the algorithm reach the type of people that like my type of content. If you want to support the channel, man, I will be pinning the Cash App link right here. And I'll also be pinning in the description as well. So I want to go ahead and move to the next conversation, but we're still on the same topic in regards to basketball. So you guys already know about what's been going on, you know, as far as nepotism when it goes to talking about LeBron James and Bronny James, right? So here's another situation, but it's not going the same exact way. Carmelo Anthony's son, Kyan, is it Kyan or Ken? I'm gonna say Kyan. Kyan Anthony was snubbed from the McDonald's All-American list. Now, for those of you who haven't seen Kyan play, he's a really good player. He pretty much plays like his dad, Carmelo Anthony. Plays just like him. Smooth, nice stroke, strong, can get to the cup. He's not as athletic, but he's lengthy. He can still get a bucket. Got a nice little midi on him. Got a nice little stroke on him. Got a nice handle. But he is solid. I believe he was number one. I believe he's ranked number one in New York. And he still didn't make he still did not make the McDonald's All-American list. This is crazy to me. So let's see what the fuck happened. And let's see what Carmelo got to say about it.
Welcome back to NBA Cinema. So, guys, I want to talk about a topic I see.
Shout out to NBA Cinema for the content.
Going viral on social media right now as Kyan Anthony was snubbed from the McDonald's All-American game. He's the number one ranked player in the state of New York, 6'6" guard, going to Syracuse, son of, you know, a future Hall of Fame player in the NBA, Carmelo Anthony. And
well, now Hall of Famer, because he has been inducted into the Hall of Fame. Shout out to Carmelo Anthony, dog. Well fucking deserved, bro. Well fucking deserved, Carmelo, bro. You've done a lot for the NBA. You put in work while you was in the league, and can't nobody take that away from you, big dog. Even though you left a little bit earlier than you should have because they just pretty much put you on the back burner, which I think sucked. But hey, well deserved. Congratulations, bro. Salute to you.
Obviously, this has started up the conversations about Bronny's ascension in the ranking, seemingly out of nowhere when he was in high school. Now, Bronny didn't play bad, in the showcases, but there was an element there that you saw him play with politics where someone like Simeon Wilcher, who ended up at St. John's, probably was right on the cusp of making an All-American game, but Bronny, he moved from 40s, 50s, 60s up to the top 20, just in line in time for him to make the McDonald's All-American game, right? And people saying it's good optics to have LeBron courtside at the McDonald's All-American game. Always been a business, right? Not making this a diss to Bronny or Bron, but people are now talking about Kion not making the All-American game, and none more notably than his father. Let's check it out.
But
listen, I'm gonna say this though. I gotta say this. You can't bring Bronny into the conversation. You can't bring Bronny into the conversation. They're two different. They're two different players, two different times. Because if you want to keep it above, which I don't understand, Bronny can act. Y'all acting like Bronny is a charity case. He can fucking hoop, dog. What are you talking about? Buddy is a fucking bucket. What are we talking about right now? So let's not try to bring the LeBron James and Bronny shit into the situation. And this is the same situation here. Kion Anthony can fucking hoop. He can fucking ball. And to be number one in New York, I know they got a lot of fucking hoopers out there. And for him to be listed as number one in New York and not make the All-American, yeah, that's crazy work to me. That's crazy work.
McDonald's All-American game roster was announced, and the #1 ranked player in New York was noticeably absent.
Anthony family once again gets jerked. They jerked us.
Melo was so hot, he didn't even text me back when I asked.
This team been set for 4 years now, since freshman year. They start planning all the games together. They start traveling together.
It's very political.
I think he deserved to make it. No bias. I think he really put the work in and really deserved to be a McDonald's All-American because of his journey and because of his trajectory and how his development went. A kid who played freshman basketball his freshman year to becoming the #1 player in the state of New York. That should mean something itself.
I was hot.
I'm going to tell you what I was even hotter about. I did the McDonald's deal.
I ain't gonna lie, I saw that commercial the other day too.
That's kind of wild though. He do a McDonald's deal. His son don't even get in just off the strength of your father's name. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. I don't get that. But I will say this though. Now wait, I'm gonna let them finish.
I'm like, oh, this is a wrap. I'm being kind of a little optimistic and shit. Then I'm like, nah, they gonna jerk him. This was early, like, nah, they gonna jerk him. Every day, 20, 25, this, that. He hasn't lost a game since. One game in the championship, Scholastic Championship against Lincoln Academy. They the #3 team in the country. Like, what are we sitting here talking about? How? That's my perspective on it. I think he got jerked. I think he deserved it. I think there's a couple other kids who actually deserved it as well. No knock to the kids that's there, but what's the criteria now? You're winning against these guys. What does it mean? And this is the first time in a long time that the #1 player in the state of New York, a top 30 kid, didn't.
Yo, if you in here, make sure you liking the live, man. Don't just sit here and watch your boy. Make sure you like the live. It's gonna help the algorithm reach the people who like my type of content, man. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Make the McDonald's All-American game. It ain't about the game. Yeah, you missed the game, but it's like the lesson in that. Don't stop working. Just because you don't get what you want, don't stop working.
It's a part of his story now.
Then it becomes, we don't need a score. He's just a scorer. And I'm like, oh, damn. So he's getting penalized early for doing something very, very good.
Wait, if you don't need a score, what do you need? You need a defender in the McDonald's game?
He's a lockdown defender. This is no I laugh at like, damn, you locking up. He locks down.
I think it's a good thing ultimately, man.
I told him, I said, look, and sometimes it's a fine line because he could be like, yo, dad, but damn, you was a #1 player. You made McDonald's game. You did this and you. Then I'm like, it's different. than the politics that you have to deal with today. The fact that I was a number one player and I had all of that and I built that, you have to deal with some of that today.
Yep.
It's inevitable. I'm speaking for all the kids. What is the criteria in this?
Kind of like how
I will say this though. I will say this. That's gonna put a battery in Cayenne's back though. Oh, you think it ain't? Oh, that's gonna put a battery in his back. You understand me? Buddy finna, you just woke up a fucking beast. That's what y'all just did. Y'all just woke up a beast, bro. He already had it in him. Now he just finna go to a whole new level, dog. Oh my God.
Carmelo phrased that. I've been thoroughly impressed with Kiyan Anthony, to be honest with you. He's one of those guys that we've watched develop right in front of our eyes. His growth spurt, we saw the ball handling skills come. We saw the athleticism start to develop. The shooting has been there for a while, but now we're seeing him shoot it in people's face. We saw him go up to the NBPA top 100, put up some big some big scoring outputs amongst the top players. So he's done everything that you needed to do to position yourself at a McDonald's All-American game. Top 30 player, top player in New York, not represented in the McDonald's All-American game. That seems a little bit crazy when you look at it. But, you know, I know the comparisons will come with Bronny. But, you know, just looking at it for me personally, I just think Kiyan should have made it. It ain't even about Bronny. It's not a conversation about Bronny.
Exactly. Yeah. So don't even bring Bronny into the conversation. This ain't got shit to do with Bronny. This is all about Kiyan. Don't bring Bronny into it, because Bronny deserved what he got, and he's working his ass off to be where he's at, and he deserves a spot as well. But this ain't about Bronny. This is about Kiyan. And I think that he deserves to be there too. I believe that he deserves to be a McDonald's All-American, 1,000%.
That I'm seeing online, unless, you know, you kind of want to talk about the politics in it, but there's other politics too. Like if a kid is going to Duke and then another kid chooses SMU, but he's a top kid, sometimes, you know, they may take him, but sometimes that may kind of push him out, and they'll pull another kid in that's gonna go sit the bench at Duke, you know, that first year for the most part. And so there's always been politics, and there's level to politics. And I know people are highlighting this because we've seen, you know, in the last few years, Bronny and now Kiyan coming out. And, you know, Melo and LeBron will always be looped together. And it's funny how that's happening again, right? We having the comparisons with their sons, you know, just talking about, you know, the McDonald's All-American game and that whole path. It seemed like just yesterday we were talking about Melo and LeBron and them being rookies, and Melo being a year older than Bron in the 2002 class, Bron being in the 2003 class and all that. But now we're talking about their kids. Isn't that something for us that's made it that long? But I like that.
Nah, I like Kiyan's game, bro. He's smooth as shit on it. He's smooth as shit on the court.
Melo said that you can use this opportunity to develop your game. They're saying you just a scorer, you don't lock up. That may be why you didn't get in the game. Okay, that's good. I need that. And because I'm going to a situation at Syracuse in a rebuild, first year without you know, a little bit without Coach Boeheim being there. I don't know if this is the first or second year without Boeheim, but they're in transition. I need to be a complete player. I need to get after it on both ends of the court. I'm known for my scoring prowess, but I want to show that I'm that defender. I'm that guy, because this won't matter when we get between them lines next year. Okay, every guy that made it, we get a matchup. I want to be within the flow of the game, but I also want to.
All right, so I'll just stop it. I'll just stop it right there, bro. So I agree. Kiyan Anthony should have got on the American All-Star All-American list. No question, no doubt about it. But again, we do understand that it is politics. But just even because of the name, I know it's gonna sound crazy. But because he is the number one player in New York, number one. We didn't say top 10. He number one. We didn't say he's amongst the top 100. He's number one. Number one. And the amount of work that he's been putting in to say that they don't need another scorer. He's a shooting guard. That's what shooting guards do. They're meant to fucking score. What are you talking about? It has to be something deeper. It has to be something deeper than just the politics alone. Maybe somebody don't like Carmelo. I don't know, but dog, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. But again, I already said it before. It's gonna put a battery in Kayan's back. He's gonna walk on. He's gonna play with a chip on his shoulder now, simply because of things like that. He gonna fucking dominate. He finna go to an entirely new level in his game and what he's gonna do and what he's gonna bring to the table as a hooper. So it's gonna be exciting to see, bro. And shout out to Carmelo Anthony for the Hall of Fame, bro. Like I said before, it's much deserved. You deserve that for sure, no questions asked. So much love, and make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. It's gonna help the algorithm reach the type of people that like my type of content. So I want to pivot to our last topic for tonight. And this is one that's a lot of red pillars talk about it. A lot of red pillars talk about it. But a lot of women don't like to listen to men. For some reason, y'all don't like to listen to men because y'all act as if the shit that we say is just stupid. But we always keep the receipts. We always have examples in showing y'all why the things that we say and why we say them is not just to be saying it or just to be heinous or just to be mean or be a dick or be misogynistic. We say it because we see these things happen, and it's happening to a lot of men out here. So there's a situation where this woman, sad to say, today, a black woman who lied on her, I guess you could call, I'm just gonna say baby's father. The baby's father for false accusations on grape. Falsely accused him. Sent this man to jail. He served years in prison off a false accusation. Something he never did. Let's get the story.
We're going to clean up the infection.
Shout out to Miss Iyanla. Is it Iyanla? Iyanla. Fix my life.
We're going to tell the truth.
Hold on now.
Mr. Monzel, in your lie detector test, you were asked, did you have any sexual contact with any of your 3 daughters? You said no. And the lie detector said there was no deception.
Yes, thank God.
How does that feel for you? And that your daughters know it.
Well, I felt they always did know it.
You felt they always did know it.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't speak it because?
They didn't know no better. They wasn't told no different.
Look at this. Look at this. Not a care in the world in her eyes. Not a care. I don't even think she has any amount of embarrassment in her mind, in her heart. I don't think she cares, bro. Look at her. Look at her face. Just stale. Just stale.
Miss Yvonne took a lie detector test and said, did you make up or exaggerate any stories with the intention to harm Monzel? She responded no, and the answer was deceptive. Then he asked you, did you say something to the effect of, I'm going to make sure you're never happy again? She responded no, and the answer was deceptive. So Miss Yvonne has a.
This is why. This is why. In the red pill community, a lot of men are saying, "Stop pedestalizing the box, dog. Stop sipping for the box." Mind you, I don't know how this lady looked when she was younger. She could have looked more attractive. I don't know. She got good skin, but the deceptive of a woman, the devilish behavior that a lot of women can possess, you got to pay attention to everything as a man. You got to be cautious on how you move, how you're talking to these women, bro. A lot of these women are traumatized. They got their own trauma. They got a lot of baggage, and they're looking to hurt the next man that they can get their hands on, or the next sucker, because they want you to feel the pain that they feel, instead of going to fix their own shit, going to therapy, and healing from their fucking traumas. You got a black man who wanted to be in his children's lives, and I'm sorry I keep bringing that little aspect of a black man, right? Which we all know that if y'all look at the statistics and the data, majority of black men are the most active in their children's lives. But of course, the narrative always get painted as if black men are, deadbeats. But nah, it's just the sucker niggas that y'all date. It's the niggas that y'all date, the ancient dudes that y'all date. That ain't shit. And that's a small percentage of the black men. That ain't the majority. But you got this woman who wanted this man to feel pain. And what's even more sad is the fact that because there's no evidence, he still went to jail. Not one of his daughters could remember a time that any moment that their father touched them. And this man still went to jail. And y'all think that, and y'all believe, and this is why men say you can't believe the shit that a lot of women say. You can't. You can't believe it. It's hard because a lot of y'all be fucking lying. You lie so you won't look bad. You lie so you can be a fucking victim. You lie so you don't have to hold yourself accountable for the shit that you've done. You don't want to have that. You don't want to have that mirror held up to you, and you have to look at yourself and look at your fuck ups. You don't want to have to do that. You want everybody to be on your side. You want to be the fucking victim. This is fucking sad. Now this man had to suffer years in prison because of your lies. And you think men should just believe all women? Yeah, right. All right.
Acknowledged that her story about you touching your children in a sexual way was not true. So, Miss Yvonne, is anything that you wanted to say to Mr.
That's crazy.
Manziel?
Why didn't you fight for him harder? If you knew.
Hold up. What the? Bitch, what? Hold up. That's all. Hold up. Hold the fuck up. What'd she say?
If you knew you
Excuse
didn't
me.
do it, and fight for him harder.
Nah.
If you knew.
Yvonne, is anything that you wanted to say to Mr. was not true? So, Miss Yvonne, is anything that you wanted to say to Mr. Manziel?
Why didn't you fight for him harder?
Why didn't you fight for them harder? Why didn't you fight for them harder? So That's all you got to say? Why didn't you fight harder? Why should he have to fight? Those are his kids. Just as a lot of you would sit here and say, well, it takes two to tango. Yeah, it sure does take two to tango. It should not be hard for him to see his fucking kids. Those are his kids too. Why are you making it difficult for him to see his children? This is the problem. And you can't even, and you lack the decency to have accountability. You're going to try to push it back on him and say, why didn't you fight harder? What the fuck is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? And y'all wonder, and y'all fucking wonder. Y'all wonder why men are talking the way that they're talking today. You wonder. You think men are just being misogynistic. You think men are just, oh, we hate women. No, we holding y'all accountable. We trying to hold that mirror up to your fucking face and show you that it ain't just us, shorty. It's you too. You hold some responsibility in the situation. You got some power in this too. Don't try to put it all on the man. He suffered enough, and you still want to put blame on him. That's crazy to me, dog.
If you knew you didn't do it.
And what is it
what
that he could have said that would have made you not believe the lie you were telling? Miss Yvonne, you told the lie. It was a lie.
Exactly.
And you told it.
You told the lie.
And you got to own it.
I'm sorry. I need you to say that you did not rape your girls. I need to hear it come out your mouth the way I've always heard it, Ma.
I apologize for cheating.
So wait, hold up. What you? So she been telling her kids that happened? She was telling her kids that. Nah, G.
I apologize.
You to say that you
told it. And you got to own it.
I'm sorry. I need you to say that you did not rape your girls. I need to hear it come out your mouth the way I've always heard it, Ma.
I apologize for accusing you of raping.
Shit. Great. I forgot. God damn it.
Please forgive me.
You don't have to forgive him.
Boy, so what do y'all, so I want to ask y'all a question. What do y'all think? Is that shaking because he's trying to hold back the tears? Or is that the shaking because he's trying to hold back from backhanding her ass? Because boy, I know those emotions. Oh, boy. Listen, I'm not an advocate for abuse. I'm not. I would never tell a man to put his hands on a woman. I would never tell a woman to put her hands on a man. I'd say keep your hands to your motherfucking self. But sometimes, y'all drive a man up the fucking wall. And y'all like to talk about emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is being able to control your emotions despite thereof. Despite the fact that you want to go upside that motherfucker head, despite the fact you want to put her head between the drive, despite the fact you want to put her ass in the pedigree like Triple H and body slammer. I never advocate for it. I don't. And I would tell every man that don't put your hands on a woman. And I would tell every woman, don't put your hands on a man. I don't care if it's just little punches. I don't care. Keep your hands to your mother himself. But the way that this man is shaking right now, it's like he wanted to reach all the way back to Africa and like real talk.
You don't have to.
Woo. Yeah, that's pain in his heart, man. That's But do you blame him though? Do you blame him? That's all I'm saying. Do you blame him?
I cannot accept your apology
Fair.
because
Fair.
it's not sincere.
Fair.
Deep down, I know that you didn't believe that. You knew I had no sexual desires for my children. For 25 years, this thing has broken me.
25 years. 25 years from a lie. A lie. And y'all want us to believe y'all on the shit that y'all say, just based off of the shit that y'all say. You know, there are so many women that go on TikTok, that go on Instagram and spew bullshit about their husbands, about the men that they've dated, the kind of men that they dated, how they were narcissistic, how they were this, how they were that, but they never say what they did wrong. They always claim to be the victim. They always claim to be doing the most as a spouse, as a partner, as a girlfriend. You always spew out, oh, well, I was this, I was doing that, I was trying to communicate, I was doing this, that, and the third. I'm not going to believe that, and I don't. I got to hear your side, I got to hear his side, and then I can decipher where the truth lies, because there's this thing that I live by. It's his story, her story, then there's the truth. That's why I don't believe a lot of shit that a lot of men say. And I don't believe a lot of shit that women say. Because if I get both sides of the story, I can then weigh that option out and what both of y'all said and see where the things align. And if everything is completely off, then we just got to figure out who's lying. But this is crazy. 25 years. This is 25. Oh, excuse me. 25 years. This would have me fucking in flames. You would see the red in my eyes. You hear me? Ooh, my eyes would be as red as this hat. You feel me? That's wild.
You don't know. It has affected my life in ways I can't even count.
Facts.
The things that you did. This is not no game.
Facts.
This is these children's lives. And it's just a demon.
And that's the problem. And I said it earlier. A lot of y'all are so focused on yourself. Y'all are so fucking selfish. You forget that it ain't about you no more. It's about the children. The children suffer the most in this situation, especially a situation like this, when the father should be in the household, when they should have their fathers. A situation like this, because this woman has been lying, has traumatized those women forever off of a lie. Now, I guarantee these women are going to, those young ladies, I guarantee are going to resent their mother for lying for 25 years, bro. 25. That is wild.
In you that you need to deal with.
Yep. I 1000% agree. 100%. That is. This is, again, I'm going to reiterate this again. I'm going to say it again. For everybody listening to me and for everyone who's going to listen to this live stream and to this video in the future, I need y'all to understand something. Men aren't just talking because they're just here to talk, just because they're just trying to downplay or bash women. That's not what we're here for. What we're here for is to have the communication and express things that are going on the men's side that people don't like to talk about. You know, what I like to call barbershop talk, the shit that y'all never heard, because when men go to the barbershop and back in the day when they used to be at the barbershop for hours and hours at a time because they're having conversations about the shit that y'all used to do. Just like y'all would have conversations about men at y'all hair salons, right? And the shit used to be, what happens in the barbershop stays in the barbershop, right? Now that we have platforms where we can actually have these conversations out loud and we got a microphone and we're able to talk, now people can give their experiences and other people's experiences, even if they haven't experienced it themselves. And we see what's going on TikTok. We see what's going on YouTube. We see what's going on Instagram. We see what's going on X. We see it. And you expect, and you think men are just talking about you just to bash you? Nah, you ain't that fucking special. But we are here to hold you accountable. Just like y'all always try to hold us accountable for bullshit. Literally, just like this woman just did. She tried to hold him accountable again. Why didn't you fight harder for your children? What? You were lying, and you knew you were lying, but you wanted me to fight more. What type of game are you playing? What type of game is that? I want to see how hard he gonna fight for his kids. Nigga, what? You better give me my goddamn kids. And see, the problem is we have a lot of simps in the world. And for those of you who don't know what simps mean, is suckers. Hold on, what is it? What is suckers? What is it? Suckers something mediocre box. I'm not gonna say the P word, but box. Oh, there it is. Suckers idolizing mediocre box. Suckers idolizing mediocre box. That's what a simp is, right? So you got a lot of these cats who out here, yeah, queen, yeah, you don't deserve him, queen. Yeah, you need a real man. You need a real man. Tell that man to fight for his kids. And then you got other men out here, bro, I don't care what she do, bro. You're supposed to fight for your kids. Nah, bro. Nah. I shouldn't have to fight for my kids. If you know that I'm a good father and you know that I'm going to be a great father, why the fuck do I need to fight for my kids? Why do I got to fight for them? You should just be willing to give my kids to me. Whether it's a 50-50 or it's a 20-80, 60-40, whatever it is. When that time comes for me to get my kids, you give them to me. I shouldn't have to fight. I shouldn't. There should not be any resistance when it comes to getting my kids. And the audacity of this hoe. 25 years, and the audacity that the first thing came out of your mouth when she said, when Miss Ayanla told her and said, hey, do you have anything to say? She said, why didn't you fight harder? Boy, I would have, man, I would have threw that whole note. I would have threw that whole notebook at her goddamn face. On God. If I wouldn't have threw it at her face, I would have threw it somewhere. You hear me? But this is what we talk about. This is what red pill is. Red pill is to take the veil away from your eyes so you can see what's actually going on out here in this world. It's not to bash women. It's not to talk down on you women because a lot of y'all ain't that fucking special in the first fucking place. It's to take the veil from your eyes and actually see what the fuck is going on out here. Because a lot of shit that a lot of these women spew out, it ain't the real shit. They're only talking about their anecdotal experiences because they're bad choices and the type of men that they choose to date and the man that they choose to lay down with. And their choices of not to take accountability when they know they had a choice to do something or not to do something. But they want to point the finger at somebody else because they don't want to be held accountable. They want to be the victims. And that goes the same for other men as well. There are shitty men out here. There are. But again, these men already get held accountable. These men we already know who the Pookies and Ray Rays are. That's why we stay away from them type of niggas. Like, hey, don't hang around them sucker niggas over there. Get away from them. They are bad business. Get away from them. And that's what we do. We get away from them. But a lot of y'all ladies will promote bad behavior. I'm a girl's girl. All right, cool. You a girl's girl, but what you're also doing is accepting bad behavior too. And that's where men try to come in and say, hey, we don't accept that shit. Stop doing that. I don't even know what you say. Ain't nobody listening to no goddamn man. I can do what I want to do. I'm liberated. I'm independent. I got my own. I make my own money. I deserve this, that, and the third. You a 4, but you say I'm a 10. I'm a baddie. 300 pounds talking about you a baddie. Looking like a booger wolf talking about you a baddie. I got all these niggas in my DMs, yeah, but ain't now one of them talking about they want to marry you either. All they want is the box. That's it. You ain't that special. You're not. And this is not the bad shoot, just giving you what's real. You're not that special. You may think you are. And guess what? The results show that you're not that special. So you can say that you're a baddie. You can say that you deserve this. You can say all of it. You can talk about how educated you are, how much money you made, what type of job you got, the type of people you hang around. You can talk about all that. But guess what? If you ain't got the results to show for it, I don't know for what you say. I don't go by the results. And the results say, you ain't as bad as you think you are. So that's what's up, bro. So at the end of the day, fellas, pay attention to the type of women that you lay down with. I get it. You know what I'm saying? She want to open the legs up for you, but sometimes you got to take precaution, bro. Pay attention to her. Listen to the things that she say. Pay attention. Stop just looking at her because she got a body on her. She got a little junk in the trunk, dog. I don't care about all that. Nope. But I'm not gonna keep beating the dead horse. This was a dope show tonight, bro. I appreciate y'all for tapping in with your boy. And listen, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It's gonna help the algorithm reach the type of people that like my type of content. Also, if you want to support the channel, the link will be in the description and it's right here going across the screen right here in the Cash App, which is Ceeedgar. Listen, it is not expected. So please understand that it's not expected, but it is definitely appreciated. And look, we are trying to be one of the biggest YouTubers out here. So I'm going to need y'all help. I'm going to need y'all to tap in with your boy. I don't care. Look, this ain't an echo chamber. You can disagree with everything that I fucking said, but that's part of this. I want to have the discussion. I want to talk to y'all. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments, about everything in the comments that I talked about today. So until next time, make sure you are here on Tuesday at 6 p.m. as well. We're going to go live again at 6 p.m. So make sure you're here, and I will see y'all next time, man. I'll holla.